Hey, good afternoon. I always give it just a little bit before I speak so you have this moment of silence. It's like, okay, I see you, but I don't hear you. It gives it time for, and I'm not just talking and then it all of a sudden jumps in the middle of a sentence. So, good afternoon. It is Friday, May the 26th, 2023, all those 20s. This is Mary Lou Foster. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sulphur Springs, Texas. That's up in the northeast corner of Texas, halfway between Dallas and Texarkana, on Interstate 30. If you Google it or get out a map, you should be able to find us. If you're going to Dallas from the east, you drive practically through the middle of the town because the interstate divides the town into north and south. So I'm kind of watching my phone so that I can see. There it is. There we go. If you are watching, please comment so I will see that I'm not just talking to myself. I don't mind talking to myself, but it's a whole lot more fun if if I feel like that there's someone watching. So, alrighty. Oh, I'm so excited to show you what I have today. My card class for this month was yesterday, and we use brand new products, which is so fun because they haven't seen them for real, and some of them I've just barely gotten. The Countryside in Designer Series paper was some that we could get in our pre-order. I believe I'm correct in saying that. But what caught my eye about particularly this paper is this cute little bunny rabbit on this piece of paper. And there's a fox, and I'll show you my sample board here in just a second. They had a card made in the catalog. I meant to look up what page that's on. Let me grab if I can find the catalog. I think my laptop is sitting on top of it. It is not. Here it is right here. I think it's page 71. Let me look right quick, because I want to show you that card. I don't know if you do this or not. Nope, it's not it. I look at the cards and I try to kind of in my mind figure out, it's on page 63, how did they make that card? Because they have design artists that some of them go to school to learn this kind of stuff, and they know things I don't know. So I was looking at this and I saw these two images right here that had been cut out, and I'm like, where did they get the fox and the rabbit? I believe there might be a glare on it. Yeah, you can see that. And they've got the scissors laying beside it, and then my eyes are wandering around, and lo and behold, there's the rabbit. And then I'm looking, okay, where's the fox? Well, there's another sheet that has foxes on it, and my grandson's last name is Fox. So anytime that I find something with foxes, it definitely catches my attention. So I knew, plus look at the blues. Let me show you my inspiration board that I put together so you can see the paper, the fronts and the backs of the paper. And the way I've got it arranged, I've kind of snugged them up together, like this is one side, this is the back side. This is what I'm calling the front side, the one with the foxes, the back. This is the front side with the rabbits and the back. This is the front side, has trees and flowers, and then the back I really like, it's just row of flowers, and we're going to use that on our card today. Then there's one that has birds with stripes on the back, and then the flowers, and you're probably seeing lots of cards with these flowers, and the back of it is a graphic, kind of a stripe. It's Countryside in Designer Series paper. It's part of the suite of products, of course. There is a stamp set. We're not using it today. And there is a set of dies. And the dies, I don't have one right here. I was designing cards just a minute ago, but I don't want to show you that card yet. It coordinates with the blues, with the Balmy Blue. I have it mounted on Boho Blue, which is the new in color of blue, Night of Navy, and Misty Moonlight. Of course, white, basic white. But I like blue. My favorite color is purple, followed quickly by blue and pinks. If you can see my flower beds this year, I kind of went overboard on the purple flowers. I was teasing my husband. I'm like, I must be in a purple mood because every flower I've been buying is purple. So today's card features some of those papers. And it was one, I believe I found it on Pinterest or scrolling Facebook like we all do, and I forgot to write down the name of the person who originally made this card, but I changed it from her design. She had mounted each of these individual pieces of designer series paper on the Night of Navy. And my concern always is, when you finish the product, how heavy is it? Is it going to take more than one stamp to mail it? So I edited it a little bit and only layered it once on a basic white. It's mounted on Misty Moonlight. The stamp set is kind of an unexpected. This Very Best Occasion stamp set is one that, if you don't have a lot of stamps and you want some that have like happy birthday, thinking of you, it even has a Christmas stamp. That one can be a thank you card. This is a good set to get. So I was looking for, I didn't have the one that the person who made it used, but I'm like, well, I'll just pull out Very Best Occasions and I'll make mine a happy birthday card. Endlessly Grateful. I use the deckled dies, the rectangle dies, to die cut my label. We're using a punch. It's called the bow punch. These are really heavy punches, so don't drop them on yourselves. And we're also using the scallop circle, or fancy circle punch. So when you come to my card classes, I have your little card kits prepared. Sometimes I do some of the work for you, like I went ahead and die cut the vellum. It depends on other cards that we're making. If they're more complicated and have more steps, I try to be considerate of their time constraints and their energy level, because you know, you make cards for 2 to 3 hours and you get tired. So I try to kind of look at that and help them out. And I've done some of the punching and die cutting on this one. They just had to assemble the card. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that and lay it out of the way, because I like to build my center panel before I mount it all on the card. I watch them. They all make cards differently. So I have 2 pieces of basic white in here, and I have to make sure that I have the correct one. One of them is the liner for the inside, and there's only I think it's 1/4 of an inch different. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick that inside my card. And I do that because Misty Moonlight is pretty dark, and you would have to use a black felt tip pen for them to read, so we just put a liner in it. I like to just kind of lay it out, see what my borders. The object is to try to get the same amount of white showing all the way around all the pieces, so it's matted. My first love was scrapbooking, and we matted everything. Pictures, layers and layers. So you get to where you can kind of eye that up. See, here's the row of flowers that I was talking about. And then you can change the card up. I'm pretty much, I didn't want to mess with it much. I liked how the colors looked. The back of that one is the stripe. So I'm going to start in this bottom right corner, layering the pieces on. This uses 3 different sheets of the designer series paper. So it's a great way to kind of showcase the paper, the prettiness of it. And one thing about you don't have to be careful about which direction the stripes are going, except on the row of flowers. So you do have to pay attention, or you'll have your flowers going sideways, and that would probably drive me crazy. I'm lining that up, and then I'll just kind of lay it gently as I go. I don't just plop it on there. I kind of start at one end and adhere it as I go. So if it's going crooked, I don't have to peel the whole thing off. I just have to peel and kind of line it up at the top. If you notice my grid paper, this is the new in color grid paper, and it is available for customers. It's an online product, and I did not look up the number, and it's not on here. You get a pad of all 5, probably 25 sheets. I think there might be 5 of each sheet. It's a pretty good pad of paper. Alright, I'm happy with that, and I will go ahead and mount that on. This was cut. I'll need to measure it before I tell you for sure. So there's a little bit more of the dark blue showing side to side. It's 5 1/4 up and down, but I think it's 3 3/4. Yes, it is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So you've got a little bit more of the blue along the edges. Now when you adhere your vellum, kind of pay attention and don't put your sticky up here where it's not stuck, because you can see it through the vellum, and it's okay if it's not attached all over the place. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my happy birthday, stamping it in Misty Moonlight, which is the color of the designer series paper. And this could probably be masculine as well as feminine. I gave my brother his birthday card this week, and it's crooked. It was the one with the balloons. The Celebrate. It was bright. I'm like, yeah, I thought I'd do something different and not do the horses and outdoor scene. He liked it. It was alrighty. Alright, so I'm going to adhere just kind of the bottom edge of my vellum. There's no exact science to that. Now, I think what I'll do on this card is go ahead and use some dimensionals behind my label and pop it up, as I like to say. I called them pop dots forever. They're dimensionals in the Stampin' Up world because it gives your project dimension. Haha. And my sentiment is crooked, but I think it's not going to be a big old problem. Alright, so I had already punched out of boho blue the bow. Let's see if I cut myself a big enough piece. I punched it out for them because sometimes they have difficulty lining up the images and holding the punch, and they need gigantic pieces of paper to make it work. And see, I had a little old bitty piece and I got what I needed out of it. But when you have classes, you have to kind of learn to be a little conservative. But if you're just doing it for yourself and you want to use a whole sheet of paper, I say go for it. Actually, that's not exactly the one that I used on my sample. I die cut these out of, but you know what, for this one I'm going to use what I've punched, just to show you that you can change it up. You don't have to make it exactly like mine. If you don't have the same things that I had, use what you've got. Make it work. Nobody's going to know that the sample you started with isn't the same as what you ended up with. How do I want to do that? I think I want to do it that way. Unless you show them or tell them. Now the bow is double. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces of twine. And I always like to give myself, it takes more than you think. Sometimes I don't cut myself quite long enough pieces to get a big fat juicy bow. So my tip for you this time was being careful where you put your adhesive when you're working with vellum. We talk about it a lot, but never hurts to be reminded. See, I almost didn't get myself enough because these little tails are going to be pretty short. Let me stick it on a glue dot. That's my favorite way. But it is going to be fine. So which do you like better? The this stems or the punch? And I'll have to look. In the description I will put which set of dies I grabbed to cut those out. Let's embellish it with some of the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. We have a Tinsel Gems 3-pack and a 4-pack. And it has, it doesn't tell me on here which blue that is, but that's what I was going for. It's the pretty blue. And they are sparkly. It's almost like they have little bits of glitter in them, since they call it tinsel. And put a small one, put it right there. So it adds that bit of bling. Go ahead, and for this one I didn't provide them with an inside sentiment. Do that sometimes. The front says happy birthday, and Stampin' Up! Doesn't always offer us a wide assortment of verses to put on the inside, so I tell them they can write their own or use other stamps that they have. I cut this a little bit wider than the 4 1/4 that the white paper is, so I'm just going to kind of center it so it hangs off a little on each side. I could trim it, but why do that? Just use it like it is. So that is Countryside Inn Designer Series paper that features the bunny. You could use the piece that has the fox. We've made it a happy birthday card. So easy to change it out and make it a thank you card. A sympathy card. This one would be fine for a sympathy card. And the Very Best Occasions stamps. Didn't use a whole lot of products in this one. I will post my list of supplies. Oh yeah, I was going to show you a couple of cards. I participated in our team swap, and my swap cards came this week, and it's okay for me to show you these. This one, oh my goodness, uses the circle greetings, the circle, yeah, the circle, because the flowers, that's in that stamp set, that's the happy birthday. She's used the scallop contoured dies, and look at this. Isn't that just gorgeous? And that's the Country Inn, the flowery paper. Then this one also is the Country Inn Designer Series paper. It's a different layout. It's the landscape with the fold to the left. She's used the same paper, but she's also used crumb cake, which makes it look totally different. This is the stamp set and the dies that coordinate with the Countryside Inn suite. And so wait till I open the inside. She's popped up that center part. then she took, because the stamp stamps all of these images at the same time, and then you can take the dies and die cut whichever frames that you want. So we'll be making this one, but isn't that, I didn't use that ribbon. It was actually, it carried over from the older, that previous catalog. So that is all of the prettiness I have for you today. I appreciate your time. I'll post the list of supplies. Let me know if you need any help. This designer series paper is going to go on sale June 1st for 15% off. So that might be something that you would like to add to your list and get that next week. I hate to kind of tell you ahead of time, because if you were thinking about ordering it, but let me save you 15%. Wait till June the 1st. June 1st through 30th. You'll be getting, if you're on my email list, you'll get an email about that Tuesday. I didn't send it to you Monday because it's a holiday. Excuse me again. Goodness, I think it's the coffee I drank. But it's select designer series paper. It's not all of them. So we'll be talking about that next week. But this is a great way to use up your papers. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining me. Y'all have a great day and stay happy. Bye.